Hi guys, Nicole Sciacca. This is a hamstring situation. I say that because my hamstrings are a little sore today, so I might be moaning and groaning throughout this. I want it to be as real as possible at all times. You probably already know that about me. What you will need is 2 blocks and a strap. I think that's it. Okay? So we're going to start standing. I want you to go ahead and bend your knees, put a nice significant bend in the knees, and then pitch forward from the pelvis. The first thing I want you to notice when you come forward is if you feel any sort of pinching pain in the front of the hip. If you do, I want you to prop yourself up to a place where you're not sitting in that sensation. If you're okay to fold forward, I'll do it from the side so you can see a little clearly. Keep the weight in the balls of the feet, bend the knees, and just let your sit bones pitch up a little bit. Yeah. And then just start to notice what you feel along the backs of the legs. Maybe you need the blocks, maybe you don't. Maybe you could take the feet a little bit wider and then clasp your elbows with the bend in the knees and let your head drop. And maybe there's a little bit of like a pendulum swing here. You can kind of shift weight over one foot and then over the next. Nice, you guys. So these blocks, P.S., now it's a block commercial. These blocks come in all different shapes and sizes, some of which are half blocks, some are full blocks. These are full-size blocks. What I'm about to show you is pretty intense, so if you have a half block, it might be a wiser choice. You're going to stand on one of the blocks with one foot. Keep your toes perfectly in line, so the toes are in the same parallel line. You're going to shift the weight forward and see, to your best ability, if you can straighten out the leg that's on the block. This is where you may need the other block for an assist. I have pretty open hamstrings, so this is not common, what I'm doing here. I think most folks would be at least propped up a little bit. Continue to breathe with this and just notice again what you're feeling. I'm hoping that we can stay here for 50 seconds. Don't worry, you're already like 20 in. So continue to breathe. Do your best to draw this thigh bone and this sit bone up and over the leg, right? And notice if this back heel, the right heel, the heel that's not on the block, is trying to lift. I want you to do your best to keep both heels down. You got about 15 seconds here. Nice full breath again. Great, you guys. And when you're ready, slowly step off the block and you're going to switch. Oh yeah, that feels nice. She says to herself. Toes again are in the same plane, so one strong parallel line there. Do your best to straighten the leg that's on the block and then prop up as high as you need to. Maybe you have a very funky water bottle that can also work as a third block. Or a foam roller. It's a foam roller as well. Side note. Again, continue to breathe, bringing weight into the balls of the feet. Nice, you guys. More than halfway now. Try your best not to lift the heel that's on the ground. And you can kind of, again, shift weight over the big toe, over the pinky toe, back into the heel. Notice as you move around what parts of the hamstring that fires up. Like, for the most part, it's medial. It's right down the middle, but it might move when you shift the weight a touch in terms of sensation. Good. Last big breath. Nice, you guys. Slowly release yourself off this. Ay, ay, ay. We're going to make our way down onto our knees. Taking your blocks with you. We're going to come into a half lunge. So beginning with the right foot, to actually start with the left leg since we began with the left leg on the other side. I'm going to have you bring the blocks again as an assist. If you need them, you may not need them. Curl your back toes under, and then I want you to gently rock your hips forward. So for most of us, this is the front of the right hip. Some of us are going to feel hamstring here. Some of us will not. And then you're going to pull the hips back. So it's a half split, Ardha Hanumanasana, and then a driving lunge. And what I mean by that is I'm trying to push my knee forward and I'm trying to push my hips forward slightly. I'm not collapsing mindlessly. I'm just giving it a little bit of effort to push forward. And then same idea, drive the hips back. Again, push forward, drive the hips back. 2 more, push forward, drive hips back. 1 more. Pushing forward, driving the hips back, and then you're going to hold this half split variation. Keep driving the whole thigh bone back and firming your kneecap if you can. Flex your left toes. Continue to breathe. Back toes can be curled under or you can be on the top of the foot. It's your preference. Nice, you guys. Belly breath. Last big breath. Good. Slowly switch sides. Left knee down, right leg steps up. Again, maybe the blocks are higher to start. And again, you're looking for that angle. Again, we're not passively dumping into a shape. We're keeping it as active as we can. So you're upright. Most likely, toes are curled under if they were on the other side. Try to stick with whatever you did before. Drive the hips forward gently, specifically the knee forward of the ankle, because in life it moves forward of the ankle. If you're squatting, you know you need that ankle flexion. It's important. Good. Pulling it back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward, 2 more. Exhale back. 1 more, inhale forward. Exhale back, you're going to hold this positioning. Maybe the block's lower down. If you have to reset, you're doing that. You're firming the thigh bone back into the socket, and the toes are staying flexed. They're staying upright. Kneecap is engaged. Quadricep is engaged and firm. Notice what happens if you do not engage the top of this leg and you breathe into the hamstring. It's probably at 20-30%. But when you firm and contract the opposite side of the muscle that you're stretching, that's a different situation entirely. That's what we want to do here. Couple more breaths. Belly breaths, please. Great, you guys. Slowly coming out of it. Nice job. All right, we're going to sweep the legs forward. This is where you're going to need your strap and an open mind. If you haven't practiced with me before, I've done like a whole class around this hamstring hammock, as it's called. If there is a buckle on your strap, you're going to bring that to the middle. So what you're about to do is place your foot. Let's start with your left foot. And it's either ball of foot, arch of foot, or heel of foot. Around this strap, you're going to lower yourself down. I'm going to make this tighter because, like I mentioned, I do have pretty open hamstrings. If you have tighter, more limited hamstrings in this direction, then you might keep a longer strap. You're taking the strap and you're bringing it behind the head. And it's going to go above your ears. So the strap cradles the head above your ears. And then you're going to let the leg rest as is. So my neck is completely neutral. My gaze is up toward the ceiling. My chin is at the ceiling. I still have to make this tighter. There we go. That's it. So a good option too, if you feel like this is a little bit loosey-goosey, is to bend this straight, to bend the opposite leg and kind of plant the foot to the floor. Arms can go out. And then I want you to start to play around with the placement of your leg. So maybe the leg crosses the midline. Maybe the ankle internally rotates. Maybe the ankle rotates out and the leg gently moves out. Maybe this outer hip flesh drives forward. And like I mentioned before, you can bring this over the heel of your foot or over the ball of your foot, and it's going to feel different for each one of us. If you feel comfortable straightening the opposite leg, you can totally do that too. I do want you to do your best to keep your head neutral. So if your chin completely tucks to your chest, I want you to just gently let the chin lift. So the back of the neck is again in its natural curve. Last 2 breaths here. You're going to keep the strap behind your head. See if you can just switch out the legs without much drama. There we go. Again, maybe you plant the opposing leg down. Maybe you can straighten it right away. Again, the tighter you make the strap, the more intense the situation becomes. And I'm not suggesting you do that. It's just the progression of how this works. Maybe after a few breaths, again, you let the leg cross the midline of the body and then let the ankle rotate in so your toes are dipping toward the floor. Might feel that along the outside of the shin, maybe even up the IT band area. You might pointer flex the toes. Notice what that feels like. Maybe open the ankle, let the leg rotate out a touch. Or let the outer hip flesh spin down toward the wall that you're facing. After a few breaths, you might decide to move the strap, bringing the strap to the ball of the foot or the heel. Again, different situation, different sensation as well. Go ahead, you guys, last couple breaths, please. And then when you feel ready, slowly plant that opposite foot so you can root that down, bend your knee, shake it out, maybe lose the strap entirely. Some blood flow back into your toes. And this next one is an option. You can keep your back on the mat, or you can take the block, lift the hips like you would do for a bridge pose, and then slide the block underneath your sacrum. So I'm bringing the block so it creates a bit of a shelf for my pelvis, the top of my pelvis. And the front edge of my buttock hang off the front edge of the block. Arms can go alongside of you. They can create a tabletop position or a goalpost shape. And then maybe heels go up to the ceiling. Sometimes I like to cross my ankles and drive the heels up and just notice if there's a different sensation there in the groin or the inner hamstring. And you are more than welcome to stay here as long as you like. 3 to 5 minutes would be great if you can do it. Just a nice supported little inversion here. Otherwise, last 3 breaths. When you're ready, bending your knees. Lowering the feet to the mat. Removing the block if you have it there. So good, you did it. Coming back upright if you like. If you're hanging out in your modified inversion, stay there as long as you need to. Great job. Thanks for playing, you guys. I'll see you next time. Namaste.